Okay, what we have here is an unboxing video. This item is the Maser Cannon from many Godzilla movies. It had first appeared in a movie called The War of the Gargantuans, and then it started appearing in Godzilla movies after that. This is the Type 66 Maser Cannon. I'm going to do an unboxing video, okay? So let me get a knife and open her up. Now, this is probably not a toy that a lot of people would go looking for. I mean, it's kind of expensive, and it's not really something I would expect to see everyone running out to buy and putting on their shelf. This won't be, you know, the #1 toy for Christmas. Let's put it that way. Now, inside the box, we have glossy directions. Apparently, there is some assembly to this, because I'm seeing cables, and yes, there is some assembly to this. There's some wire connectors we have to put in there. We also have to put some batteries in there. I don't know what size batteries just yet, but it looks like it takes 3 of them, and if I had to guess, I'd say they're C-cells. Okay? And the remote control apparently does control the Maser Cannon itself. Hard to say for sure, because not one lick of this thing is in English. None of it. The only part that's in English is remote control up here. So let's get the box opened up. I need the knife again, because she is taped up. Probably shouldn't be opening this. This is one of those toys you probably should just throw on the shelf and never touch, but it's not really high in demand, so I don't really see what the harm is in opening this. And inside the box, you can see it's packaged up really tight. And yes, this has some assembly to it. Definitely has assembly to it. So we have one part there. Have the main tractor itself here. This thing is not light. Feels like a lot of it's plastic, but it's got the weight of metal. No, there's a lot of metal to it. It's got a metal frame, upper part's plastic. There's the main tractor tank itself. Windows are clear. I don't know if you guys can see this in the video. Probably not. The windows are clear, but what I see in there are wires, not people. So let me set that aside. Let me pull the remote control out and its lovely cable. Okay. I'm going to put these foam pieces back in, because I am going to keep the box on this. And let me start pulling the Maser Cannon itself out of the box. We have some, looks like, pieces that go with the Maser Cannon. I will get these all pulled out and set up so we can see them. And unwrapped. We pull out the Maser Cannon itself and start unwrapping her. Now, this is a 1/48 scale Maser Cannon. Alright, let me get the box stuff out of the way. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I've got 3 batteries. I'm about to start putting this thing together. It is something of a model kit. There's a little bit of assembly to it. It shows that the Maser Cannon itself is not bolted down to its truck bed. Well, maybe it is. Like I said, I don't read the Japanese, so I'm not sure. What I think I'm going to do is go ahead and give it power, try the remotes on it, and see if that thing moves around. Now, there was this little packet of doodads that came with it, and from what I can gather from the instructions, this little packet right here contains some pieces that go onto the model itself. I think I'm going to hold off on putting these on, simply because I don't want them getting lost. I'm going to keep the box. I'm going to keep them in the box, so those don't get lost. Now, I recognize these from the movies, but it's been a long time since I've seen The War of the Gargantuas. Let me zoom her in some and adjust the camera a bit. There we go. Okay. I remember seeing these in the movies. and I know they're used for setting up perimeters and things, encourage the monsters to go in certain directions. It's nice to include these. Includes a little electrode. Can't say I'm unhappy about that. I'm not. Includes a little control panel. And I'm not really sure what this is because the directions don't list any of those parts. The directions do list these parts here. It includes mirrors for the tractor that pulls the maser cannon, and some of the little round turny things for turning water on and off. So you turn them like this, it turns water on and off. They go at the four corners of the maser cannon. I'm, again, not going to install those. So let me pull the zoom back out, and let's start wiring her together. Now, this guy, the main tractor here, she's going to be the worst one to wire up because I think the controls go in the main tractor. Nope, they go in the back of the maser cannon. Okay, there's a little plug right here. You plug the two together, and you hook the hitch together so the tractor can pull the maser cannon. Those two are wired. Got the controller here. This is not a wireless, this is wired. Back cover comes open. Put some batteries in her. Okay. This has one of these connectors. If you play with computers a lot, you will recognize a lot of these connectors. This connector plugs in the bottom of this thing. It should only go one way. Tomo, get out of the box. Sorry. Okay, got her wired up. Get her off that. Here we have her all wired up. I'm going to show you how the remote works. I had to play with it for a little bit because I'm used to driving radio-controlled cars, and this thing doesn't drive like a radio-controlled car. The remote has two levers. This controls each track. Push them both forward, it moves forwards. Pull them both back, it moves back. Push one forward, it turns. Okay? So it controls like a tank. You control each track on it separately. Let me get her lined up. I don't know if you guys noticed, when she's moving, the headlights come on the truck, on the tank. That, I think, is really cool. Now, as for the maser cannon itself, you can raise it, and as you raise the maser cannon, this part stays horizontal. It rotates left and right, and you can fire it. Now you can't see it from this angle here, so let me rotate her around another way. When you push the fire button, you get a pulsing up the neck of the maser cannon, just like you did in the movies. Okay? Oops, a little too far. Just like you did in the movies. I think that's kind of cool. Only thing I wish is it was blue, because I seem to remember the movies were a little bit blue tinted. Not positive on that. I'll have to go check. But I think that's kind of cool. Alright. And she will move with the maser cannon up. Let me put the maser cannon back on her support. Okay? All in all, I think this is a pretty good toy. I wish it was wireless instead of wired. You know, for the kind of money I'm paying for this, they could have easily made this wireless. But my little tiny maser cannon now has a buddy. Not alone anymore. I would love to get the plastic one, the plastic model kit. Non-existent. It was made in the 80s and you just don't find them anymore. Now, why did I buy this? Well, growing up, Godzilla movies were my favorite. Yes, there was Gamera and a few of the others, but the Godzilla movies were always done that just a little bit better. I was fascinated by the models in those movies. I mean, utterly fascinated by them. Fascinated by how much work and detail went into them. For a big guy in a rubber suit to run around and stomp on them. I mean, even as a 7-year-old, I knew that was a guy in a rubber suit. But, you know, I was still fascinated by the models in the movie and the whole idea of a huge giant lizard that breathed fire. I just thought it was cool. Now, this particular toy, I'm not going to say I'm a Godzilla fanboy because I just don't live and breathe Godzilla. But this particular toy, the reason I spent the money on it is when I saw this for the first time in those movies, I just thought it was the coolest thing as a kid. You know, here we had this thing the Japanese built to get the monster out of there. They towed it around on trucks, you know, behind their tanks. It was huge, you know, and it chased Godzilla around. I just thought it was cool. You know, it represented the future to me. So, as an adult, looking back, I wanted one of these. I've looked for the plastic model, can't find it. I thought about scratch building one for a while. And if I find the right military vehicle that looks like this tender right here, I might try to scratch build it. Scratch building this part back here I don't think would be too hard if I can get this part. You know, I haven't built enough military or armor vehicles to attempt scratch building something like that off the top of my head, or kit bashing one. This, I can see how this could be scratch built. It's mainly angular and solid rectangular lines. That's easy. The hard part on this would be the maser cannon itself and the dish. But this will suffice for now. If I ever decide to build some dioramas to honor those model builders of my childhood, I might get around to trying to scratch build one of these. But until then, I'll have to make do with the two of them. The little one and the big one. Well, hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.
Stomp, stomp. Gonna stomp some stuff. No, you're not. Maser cannon will get you. Beep, 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 beep. Stomp the maser cannon. Run away, run away, run away!
Well, we're not going to run away.